Okay. So, Ian, I know you've been planning a lot for the time capsule and been collecting artifacts and objects and pictures. Can you, might be interesting first to know a little bit about the box that's going to be used.
Okay, this is the time capsule itself, and actually it's a safe. It's made of steel around here. It's fireproof and it's waterproof, and we'll shut it and lock it, and it will go over in the wall over there.
So when we do get it in, then there's going to be the granite covering that goes over it with the dedication date and actually etching of the cross with the instructions. It can be opened in 50 years.
In 50 years after 2057.
Unless San Gabriel Presbyterian should move, which we don't want that to happen. So, but what are some of the objects you're planning on putting in there?
Well, this is the cross that Ken Kerwin made, and he gave it to the children about a year and a half ago.
And that was neat, because it was a time with young disciples, and a lot of the kids remember that, so it'd be fun for them to, hopefully some of them will be here in 50 years when it's open.
You know, one of the cute things was that the children, Jerry had the children tell her how old they would be in 50 years. And so in this booklet that she's put together of the children with their pictures that they drew, one of them says, I'll be 59, another one, I'll be 55. So she had them think about what they would be, how old they would be in 50 years.
I think that's interesting. It's a new twist in our constant focus on intergenerational. So now we're taking it a little bit different way. Ian, you want to go in while you had that out? Because the kids did some drawings, and could you tell us about that?
Okay. This is from Colton.
And they've written some little information to go with it. It's a picture of me and my mom and dad and Joe, Bob, Max, and Brownie before my daddy died. Colton's dad passed away this January 1st, and so it's neat that he has that memory in there. And they've included the information about the children. They have quotes in here from Dayton Hall, who is 6 years old. It says, I love Jesus because Jesus loves me back. So each of the children had their little part, plus their picture.
Yes.
So that's fun. That'd be in there.
So what we're going to do is, let's see, oh, here it is. Take and put each of these objects in a folder that is actually, it's called polyethylene plastic. So it isn't like the ordinary plastic that you get with like baggies or even
regular page protectors.
Yes. This is inert, so it means that it will not break down, and something that is in here, the chemistry of it will not bleed over to other things. So we don't necessarily know ourselves precisely what something is made of and whether that will bleed to some other object. But part of what we're real concerned to do is to try to protect these things so that they will not, one thing will not disintegrate some other thing.
And one of the things I've heard you focus on is we want to especially highlight our new building. Some of the things that have gone on this year and before. We'll do that with pictures too. We'll talk about that a little bit. But also you've been very aware of, we'll talk about the programs and bulletins that were used. But we want people to get a sense of the life about San Gabriel congregation. And so you'll see some of the objects that have been included because they're meaningful to ourselves as a congregation.
One of the things that I don't remember, but a number of people do, those who were petitioners were given one of these angels. And so all those who signed up as petitioners in order for the San Gabriel to become an actual church and not just a new church development got one of these angels. Now I need to find what I was going to put it in. This is perfect.
There we go. All right, now we'll get it in there. done a lot of research about archival quality materials. And let's see, what other things do you want to show us?
Well, this is a picture, the booklet about our quilt of crosses that we have up on the wall that the ladies in the project day did several years ago. And we thought that it would be interesting for the people to see this. We hope they plan that the quilt of crosses will still be up in the building somewhere. But anyway, we wanted to show them this. Here's a bulletin of our open house, and here's one from our building dedication.
And we even have our ribbon from the Chamber of Commerce
Yes.
open house. So
Yes,
that will
a
be
little
included
part of the ribbon.
Right.
And we'll put it in one of these folders because I have no idea what this ribbon is made of, but for right now, we're just having it in there. This is a bulletin of all of our veterans, many of them from World War II, some are from later times. That we honored them, and we feel it's important that the people from 50 years from now realize how many of our people served in the military.
And we have pictures of people who are actually deployed now, relatives in Iraq and Afghanistan. This was one of our special events this year in our new building.
Yes, the blessing of the animals. That was a lot of fun, seeing all those animals there. That was one of the funniest services I've ever been at.
So that'll be in there, and we hope that'll be a tradition. Let's see. Oh, here's a little object.
Yes, I don't know if you can see this well, but if you remember at the reaffirmation of our baptism, each one of us was given one of these, and so we thought it would be fun to put one of these in the time capsule, and the people will be interesting to know 50 years from now, do they still do something like this to remember their baptism, or do they do something different? I can imagine someone saying, we do that.
And then when those objects go in, you're actually going to have a little written text to explain a little bit about it. Okay?
Right.
And then to get to the serious reporting there.
Yes, this is a copy of our 2006 annual report, so they'll give them a snapshot of our congregation and what we were doing.
We were talking about what people might think about budgets in 50 years. So it'd be interesting because it does have review of our budget and to see expenditures and they'll laugh how the economy has changed in 50 years, I'm sure.
Oh, girls, I don't know if you want to put one of the angels in there.
Oh.
We use those for the Renosa. Everyone in church, we pass them out and they put prayers on there. And then when the homes were built for the family that needed a new home, we put those in the cinder blocks. We also use them in the blessing service here.
That's right, and that's great because on the Reynosa that we always talked about the away team and the home team.
Right.
So those of us who did not go through this, we in
Right.
contributions. So thanks for bringing that to
Oh,
us.
sure.
And the picture she just happened to have here was one of Carly Urban putting the angels that were taken to Reynosa. We used the same idea as Jeanette mentioned. For people who weren't able to write on the beams of the church, they wrote blessings and prayers on the angels, and they surround our walls here. So we have that will go in there.
Thank you very much, Jeanette.